Hey folks, it's Tom, your frugal prepper. My back kind of hurts after doing all this. This is blood pressure medicine that I'm on. Makes my muscles weak. But here's how the garden is going. I got white powdery mildew on the spaghetti squash, but I sprayed them down with some copper and sulfur and heavily pruned them. But you can see I'm going to have quite the harvest. I got some big spaghetti squash there. And I got them all over in here. All over. So usually with squash, when they get white powdery mildew, you just heavily prune them, get the air flowing through them. Then I spray them down with copper and sulfur. See, this leaf has a little bit of the copper and sulfur residue on it right there. And that will slow it down enough that you'll still get a full harvest out of them. And you'll be happy, you know. But these spaghetti squash are absolutely humongous. This one's bigger than my hand. I mean, look at the size of that thing. And there's smaller ones and ones that are still growing down in here as well. And we'll let them stay on the vine as long as possible because they will store longer that way, the longer they're on the vine. But I might harvest one of these and have some dinner. I'm going to end up giving a bunch of these away because I do not eat that much. Or it's going to be a big spaghetti squash time this winter, I'll tell you. But see, they're still growing new ones out here. I don't know, there's another new one. So they're still growing them. My tomato plants, some of them have wilted back. I think it's just the sun, and I did not plant them very deep for them to get roots. And the sun's been brutal this year. So what I did is I dug this up, and I dug about a foot down, and I pruned it, and I replanted it a foot down. I did that with this plant. This plant here looked dead. Pruned it back heavily, replanted it, and it's growing. It's got a nice big tomato on it. This one was dead. I did the same thing to it. It's coming back. This one I just transplanted like that tonight. And this one I just put down there like that tonight. And some of them, like this Dallas Wilson Cuban, are doing amazing. They have all kinds of tomatoes on them. So, you know, but they're getting a little wilty at the top in the sun. The sun has just been brutal this year. I think I might have to put up some shade cloth because it is wilting the cucumbers back during the day too, but they come back at night. I got, with like 2.5 gallon Ziploc bags full of cukes. I gotta go pickle them. My green beans are all flowering, so I will have green beans soon. But yeah, these are up to the top of the T-frames. Can't see through them. You know, they're huge. So I'm going to have a great green bean harvest this year, as I always do. Green beans just grow like crazy. And I get some beetles that show up and they eat a leaf or two and then they leave. And they leave them alone. They're like, these don't taste as good as sick plants. Let's go find some sick plants. You know. My peppers are doing awesome. These two, I don't know what kind they are, but they are starting to die on the growing tips. And that's a sign of a deficiency. I forget which one, but I missed a weekly feeding. I'm late, so I'm not surprised. I put a weekly feeding down. This one is starting to do it too. That could also just be sun. The sun's beating them down this year. But I have peppers all throughout here. There's some right there. There's banana peppers all in through here. These are going to get bigger. They'll be taller than me by the time the year is done. Yeah, those things are growing like crazy. These tomatoes are celebrities. They did the same thing. This one's wilting back. I transplanted him down. I transplanted this one down. And I transplanted that one down. This one I transplanted down a while ago and it came back. So I'm just going to see. I'm going to give them a week, see if they come back. If they do start growing, I'll probably get some tomatoes. And I'm hearing some thunder. We got the hurricane Barry or whatever coming in from the Texas. It's going to be really rainy and really windy in the next 2 days. And I hear thunder off in the distance. So it's going to be interesting. I got my weekly feeding done. Rain will help wash all that in real good. So I think we'll be happy. I wish my tomatoes were happier, but it is what it is, and we'll see what kind of maters we get. Gonna have plenty of green beans though. Plenty of green beans. And I'm gonna get some tomatoes. You know, this one is grown like crazy. I got some up on the front porch as well. I got some orange hat tomatoes that have already been putting out for a month. Yeah. So that's how things are going. My bird feeder is empty again. The only bad thing about bird feeders is they start to grow sunflowers. Because I put sunflower seed in this and it all gets dropped down here. And these are all sunflowers that are starting, so I have to keep peeling those off. But it makes the birds happy. This is empty again. I filled it up last week. It's just empty. Oh, my onions, they all flowered. I got the heads inside drying out. Then I'll harvest the seeds out of them, and I got the onions. I got the onions picked tonight. I got the flowers picked a couple days ago and let them dry out. So the flowers are all over here on my workbench. And here's my onions. So that's all good. But yeah, I'm gonna fill up the bird feeder and get inside. It's getting dark. It's getting ready to thunderstorm and pour rain. I just wanted to get a little work done on the garden before we had these 2 days of storms. And I'll talk to y'all later. This is Tom, your Frugal Prepper.